Dear friends, welcome to Indian Meditation Center. We have come here to the Vajus Vijnana Pairava, meditation number 96. What does this meditation says? Abode. Abode means live in some place endlessly. It should be spacious, that place should be spacious, that place should be clear of trees, there shouldn't be any trees also. It should be in the hill, there shouldn't be hill also, there shouldn't be any habitations, no people living there. Then comes the end of mind pressures. So wonderful meditation. Abode means live in some place endlessly. Endlessly means what? As long as possible. So live in a place endlessly. That place should be spacious, lot of space should be there, clear of trees, there shouldn't be any trees, no hill, no habitation, no people should be there. Then comes the end of mind pressure. Mind pressure means the pressure of mind. So here Lord Shiva says the three things. Number one is, man is always attuned to the society, he is attached to the society, because he is living in the society, so he should cut it off. Attachment to the society. So he is attuned to the society. You can use the word attuned or attached. Then he has to come to the second stage. He has to get attuned to the nature. And the third, he says, he has to get attuned to the existence. Attuned to the existence. So Lord Shiva says to Parvati, first man is in the society, he has to come down and go to the nature and find out his true nature, what he is. Then he has to come down to the existence, that is the essence of what he is, his source. So here the mind will be in 100% when he is in the society. When he comes down to the nature, the pressure of mind will be almost 0 to 10. The pressure of mind comes to 0 to 10. When he goes to the, when he is getting attuned to the existence, then is the mind pressure will be 0. So with the society, his mind pressure is 100, and when he comes with the nature and living alone or lonely, finding out what his source is, then he comes to, his mind pressure goes to 0 to 10. And when he comes to the existence, his mind pressure would be 0. So this meditation says, abode in some place endlessly, live in a place endlessly, spacious, clear of trees, trees also should not be there, no hills, no habituation, nobody should be there, you are alone. Then after that comes the end of mind pressure. The mind pressure comes to end. So this is the meditation, a wonderful meditation where you go into your source, you go into your being, what you are. So here, before we enter this meditation, we have to understand the points of being alone, aloneness. See, one to be alone, it is the foundation. One to feel alone, it is the fundamental. One to feel alone, it is the basic. Sometimes you have the experience of feeling lonely, feeling alone. The being alone is the fundamental and basic. And the psychologists and psychiatrists, they say this is because of the being which was in the mother's womb for 10 months. In the 10 months, the child in the mother's womb was so blissful, so happy. There isn't any problem. He wasn't feeling any worries, any problems. So he was so blissful and happy. That mindset is always carried with the human being. So his nature always says, even though he is living in the society, he carries that feeling, that nature, that when he was alone in the mother's womb, he was so happy, so peaceful, so undisturbed. So he was feeling the blissfulness. So even though he moves in the society, the nature is in him, that being alone is the nature. It is hidden there. So this is what the Hindus, they say. For Hindus, the past is always, what do they say? Past is always golden age. Past is always a wonderful time. So they say it is the Satya Yuga. And for the Christians, they say in the past, what happened in the past when Adam and Eve was there. So that Adam and Eve period is called the innocent period. There is no problem, no worries. Nobody is disturbed with their aloneness, where they are something like childlike qualities they had. That is the golden age for Christians. And once the fall has happened, after that everything has gone mad. So the Adam and Eve time, that is the time when it is the childlike quality or the golden age for the Christians. So this is happening for everybody. For everybody, is the past is considered to be a golden period or golden age, or something which is the best period. In Mesopotamia, there was a stone found. That stone is something like an editorial page of what we see today, of nowadays, editorial page. And in that editorial page, what it is given? In the editorial page, it is given the past, that is 6,000 years ago, that it is written, and it is written by Lowo. And in that editorial page, it is given in Mesopotamia, it says that past was wonderful, past was golden, and the past was so nice that people were living peaceful. There were no robbery, there were no sinners, everybody were sages, there is no religion, because all of them were morally very strong and good. So no theft, no lies. That is the golden period. That is, it is said 6,000 years back in that manuscript, it is written that their past was so good, but the period where they live, in that monument it is given, in the manuscript it is given. But the present life is something, husbands, they don't believe wife, wife don't believe husband, cheating is going on, robbing is going on, and father doesn't believe in the son, and son doesn't believe father. This is the age we live. But before that, it was so wonderful. So in the 6,000 years back, that manuscript has been written by one Law. It is said that their past was so good, but the period where when the manuscript was written was very bad. So the basic psychology behind this is always the past is good, because consciously, unconsciously, we always think about the time when we are alone in the mother's womb. When the time when we are alone in the mother's womb, we were so alone, so blissful and so happy. And that we carry in the life. After that we get married, we are born, we become a child, grow up, get married, do business, then die, and after that aloneness. So this aloneness happens before the birth, and aloneness happens after the death, and in between all the incidences happen. So the nature is being alone. This understanding of being alone is most important. Once a man goes and finds out his nature, What is his nature? Being alone. So, generally in Hinduism, they say, what do they say? A thread with a mala, a thread with the beads. Beads means, you know, the beads, thread with the beads. The beads are, what are the beads? The beads are the time you are born. After that, you get, you are brought up, you learn in the school, you get married, you give life to children, you have a profession. These are the beads, and the thread is, what is the thread? The thread is aloneness. What is aloneness? In the mother's womb, you were there for 10 months. That aloneness is the thread. So, this aloneness, when he was in the mother's womb, so he was feeling so happy. Just like Vishnu, he is lying on Sheshanaga, that is the serpent couch. He was sleeping in the serpent couch, so happy and so blissful. That ocean is the mother's womb. There is a lot of similarities between the mother's womb, the water in the mother's womb, and the ocean water. The ocean water is salt. The mother's womb, the water, the child is floating, it is also salt. So, lot of similarities between with the constituents of the mother's womb and the ocean water qualities, both are almost same. So, the child is so happy, and the thread is that aloneness which the child enjoyed without any disturbance. Even though mother is suffering from the cold, the child is quite warmth in the mother's womb. So, that perspection is, that is called the thread. So, in Western and Eastern countries, they are much bothered about the beads, but in Eastern countries like India, we are much bothered about, we are much thoughtful about the thread. The thread is the being, and the beads are the history. The beds are the beds, the top one are the history, and the beads and the thread is the nature. Here, in Ramayana and Mahabharata, Rama born, Krishna born. We don't know about their which day they were born, what is their history. We are much bothered about the thread. The thread is what? Their being. But in Christianity, in Western countries, you can find the Christianity after the birth of Christ only it has become history. They maintain when Christ was born. But we don't know when Rama was born, when Krishna was born. Lot of Ramas are coming and Krishnas are coming. Lot of avatars happening, incarnations are happening. Those avatars and incarnations are the beads, the being. We are much bothered about the thread, and we are not bothered about the beads. The beads are the history. History is an accident, but nature is not accident. It is not an accident. It is your nature. So, coming here, the being is the thread. Once you are able to go into the thread, you understand. What do you understand? The thread is you, and the beads are, you are born, you are married, you get son, you do a profession. These are the beads, and the thread is your being. Once you go in for the beading, once you go into the thread, your nature, when you understand that aloneness, when you understand your being is the aloneness, that is the nature, then you understand, then you will be able to see the rain falling. It is not like when the rain is falling, you can understand the moods of the rain. Sometimes the rain may be soft, sometimes the rain may be angry, and the trees may talk to you. You will be able to understand the message or the language of the nature, because you are in the silence. When you are alone, you are in the silence. But when you are in the society, when you think you are the part of the society, you belong to a group, then even the rain, you think it as a utility. It is used for drinking, and you won't be able to understand the moods of the rain. So, as you keep on doing, keep on understanding your being and the nature, Then here Lord Shiva says, go to a lonely place. Lonely place means a lonely area where you don't find any trees, where you don't find any habituations, any people living there. Or even if there is a cottage, your mind will start thinking, okay, somebody is living there, who are they? And you like to converse, you like to have a message, you like to have a relationship. Society is always deals with the relationship. So he says, go out of the society. In between, go to a lonely place and try to find your aloneness. Nobody should be there. And when you are alone, when nobody is there to talk, when there is nobody to get related, even the trees shouldn't be there. If tree is there, you will start talking to a tree. You start pouring water to the tree, and there develops a love relationship between you and a tree. There happens a relationship between you and a tree. So you should go to a place where there isn't a tree, where there is no people, and in that place, when you are so alone, where there is rocks alone, rocky mountains are there. Even Japan, you can find certain rocky areas where people go and meditate. There is nobody to talk or relate to. You are just alone. In that aloneness, what happens? You keep meditating, and in that aloneness, your ego goes off. Yes, your ego changes. As you sit alone, slowly, where nobody is there, then what happens? The ego means what? The mind is dropped. When the mind is dropped, this is what in Buddha, he says it is nirvana. What is nirvana? Aloneness. When he is able to understand that aloneness, he understands this nirvana. And Mahavir, it is Kaivalya. Kaivalya means what? Alone. Knowing the aloneness. When you know the aloneness, then you find, yes, when this aloneness, when do you feel? Only when you leave the mind, when you leave the ego. See, the ego changes its perspective. The mind changes its function according to the situations. You are talking to a servant. See how your ego is. Your ego should be in top when you talk with your servants. When you talk with your friend, your ego changes. When you talk with a child, you have to drop the ego. There shouldn't be ego. Only if you drop your ego, you can play with the child. When you are playing with your dog, you have to give away your ego. So ego changes. You can change your ego according to the situation. But here, you have to completely drop your ego. Only then you will find that aloneness. What is that aloneness? When you are in the mother's womb, you were alone. It was completely dark. You are unconscious. You are not conscious about the world. But here, you are conscious. You are completely conscious. But when you leave the mind, you feel as blissful as you were in mother's womb. You feel so comfortable. But only thing is, you are conscious now, and in mother's womb, you are not conscious. Now, the darkness is removed and the entire area becomes brightful. So, this aloneness, to find out your aloneness, what you have to do, you cannot sit in a place like in society, move and try to find out your aloneness, because you are part of the society. What is society? Your mind keeps saying, suppose if you want to go to a hill station, the mind says, come on, let us go back to the society. It is so boring here. You are not doing anything. You are useless. You have to first understand, only if you are useless, you can go in a place and live there in a lonely place where to find out your true nature, that is aloneness. To understand your aloneness, you have to be alone. And when you are being in alone, the mind doesn't allow you to stay there. It keeps disturbing you. It keeps saying, come, let us go to the society. It is so beautiful in a place like Mumbai or Chennai or Delhi or New York, where everything is colorful, everything is beautiful. A lot of things are there to watch and enjoy, to eat and enjoy. Why do you want to be alone? The mind keeps disturbing. That is what in Christianity they say, mind is a Satan, mind is a devil. So, this devil and Satan is the mind. the mind keeps following like a shadow, and it doesn't allow you to find out your true nature, your true blissfulness, that is being alone. So once you drop the mind, once when you are so adamant, once your mind thinks that you are not curable, nothing can work it, then the mind goes off. Then you find out the true nature of being alone. See, the torture of the mind, it has not only happened to you. When Lord Buddha, when he left the palace, he was 6 years he was away from his wife Yasodhara. So the time when he wants to go out of the palace, he went and saw Yasodhara. Last time he wants to see his wife. So he sees his wife Yasodhara. The child, one day old child, it was hugging mother's breast and the child was there. He wants to hug the child last time, but he was afraid, if he wakes up his wife, then she won't allow him to know what his world is. So he just walks off. He goes begging. As he was begging, definitely his mind would have told, come on, let us go to palace and enjoy a beautiful life and wonderful life. Why do you want to suffer? But he went, he sat under the Bodhi tree. For 6 years he practiced and he was able to get his aloneness, that is enlightenment. He was able to understand his true being. What is his true being? That is, aloneness is his true being, and being in the society is not, you won't be able to find out your true being. To understand your true being, Lord Shiva says to Parvati, you have to be in a lonely place where there is no trees even to chalk. Nobody is there. Only rocks are there. You are just sitting. A rock is there. It is not bothered about anything. Whether rain comes or flood comes, it is still existing. It is living there. So just like a rock, just find out what you are, what your true being is. So the mind will say, keep disturbing you. Come on, let us go back. Come on, let us go back. But if you are persistent and you stand and you stay there, then slowly the mind goes off and slowly you will understand your true being of aloneness. Then once you understand your being, that you are alone, that is the nature of you. Before being born, you are alone. After death, you are going to be alone. And in between, all these dramas happen. You take different roles. You are an actor. You are acting different roles. But you have to understand the true nature of the actor. You shouldn't get involved in all those things. All those things are passing by events. But your true nature is being alone. That aloneness is continuous for you forever. But in between, these things happen. Once you understand that nature, then you can come to the society. But the mind will never allow you. Mind will always create blocks and disturbance. It says, yes, you are an utility. You are useful for the society. Of course, in society when you live, you are just an utility. How much money you are earning, how much useful you are for your family, how much you are useful for the government to pay taxes. So utility is the society. You are a utility in the society, but you are a person. You are not a utility. So first you have to find out what you are. Then you can be useful for the society. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be. You should be useless to the society. Once you understand the true nature, when you are alone, then you have to come back to the society. Then you can be useful to the society. But you also should feel that you are not the part of the crowd. You are alone. Even though you are moving with the crowd, you are alone. Then the world looks different for you. Then you understand the true nature of you. You are not a money-making machine. You are not just, to be used by the society. And you are not a person to use the society also. There is something greater being, and that greater being, that truth, you have to understand. That truth is the aloneness. That aloneness you will be able to find out only when you go to a separate place where there is no habituation, where there is no trees, where everything just simple, wherever you sit, nothing, no trees are there, no people is there, you sit there in the lonely for 3 or for 1 week, 10 days, 15 days, till you are able to get away from the mind, till the time when you are able to understand your being. Then you come back to the society. Then you move with the society. Your total being would be different. Your total perspection would be different. Then you understand who you are. Or else you are just like, machine made robots walking and moving in the earth, just being a utility. You are not a utility. You are more than your utility. Your being is when you understand the nature of your being. So this sutra says, completely says everything about all what you are, what your being is, trying to tell the secrets of your being. When you are born, when you are in the mother's stomach, then after death, what you are going to be. That being, when you are able to understand, you find you are deathless. You find when you are aloneness, you are able to understand your aloneness. When you are able to understand your being, then your way of life would be different. Your moment of life would be different. So 1 minute, let us close our eyes. Think that you are in a place where no trees are there, nothing is there, no trees, no people, just rocks. You are sitting with the rock, meditating, no mind disturbances. When no mind disturbance comes, then slowly you will be able to understand that you are alone, nobody is there. Then you understand that aloneness, with the aloneness when you were in the mother's womb, and the aloneness which you are going to experience after death, then you understand all from the birth to death, all what's happening, marriage, giving birth to children, working, a professional, all these events happens. It is all in the periphery. Periphery means what? Outer. It is not your inner. Your inner is always being alone, aloneness. Once you understand the truth of your being, then move to the society. It doesn't mean that you have to go to Himalayas and be a hermit. It doesn't mean that you have to go to Himalaya and be a sage, or you go to a monastery and become a monk, or you become a nun. No, not at all. Once you find out your true being, once you understand the secrets of your being, then you come and move in the society. Then your perception and your outward look of the world would be different.